secondary home market.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. How are you? All right. Good, yeah. Enough coffee, everyone? Yeah. All right, so I'm Carlos Gomez, co-founder and CEO of Vivla, and I want to talk to you today about the ownership revolution that is happening, and not sure if everyone is aware, on the real estate market, of course. Have any of you read this article called Real Estate 3.0 from NFX? Raise your hands. If you haven't, honestly, you should read this. This is from a month ago or so from Pete Flynn, one of the masterminds, in my opinion, of real estate innovation. He's the co-founder of Trulia. Amazing article. It really inspired me a lot because I realized I was working on something I didn't know, and it's called the Real Estate 3.0, this ownership revolution. So pretty much the idea is that Real Estate 1.0 was about information, bringing more information to the internet, to the digital space, digitizing that information, that data about the real estate, so people could understand more about the homes, the purchase process, and then that brought more transactions. Then, and that's kind of the Silos, the Trulias, the Idealistas, of course. Then happened the 2.0, which was, and it's still today about the transaction, right? It's about how to make the transaction easier, faster, simpler, more intuitive, and that's what some of your players like the iBuyers, so Open Doors and many others, or the digital mortgage players. I don't know if any of you in the room, but that's about making the transaction easier, faster, simpler, and that's where we are today. But this 3.0 is just starting right now, or in the last few years. It's still not very well known, but it's happening, and that's kind of what I want to tell you more about today. So this 3.0 is about changing the way we think about ownership, because people don't need to have full ownership of an asset to use it, to invest in it, and also because it will change how many more people will access the same assets, right? Especially, as I'm going to talk to you about, if we talk about the second home, the luxury second home market, which is the main asset we look after at Vivla. It's a 5 trillion asset class, so massive, with very low utilization. So barely 16% of the time, a home is used every year. A second home, very important. So we're talking just in Europe. There are more than 18 million homes, over 1.5 million, which is where we start talking about luxury. Of course, luxury is very subjective, but we're talking about more than almost 1 million homes in that range, and we're talking about 125 billion of transactions every year, just of second homes that are empty 90% of the time. So that's why this is a massive opportunity, because people want to access these homes, but they can't. Because they want to buy, but they're very expensive. Because they want to rent, but rentals are getting more and more expensive. Because after COVID, as many of you know, people want to live in different places more time because they can work remotely. They don't want to be stuck in their house, in their city for 11 months a year. So that's why there's a massive opportunity to bring this, to open up the access of luxury or exclusive second homes to more people. Also to make these homes more utilized. And there's a whole thing about optimizing the usage, making the cities more livable 12 months a year, etc. And then removing the pain out of ownership. Because as many of you know, how many have a second home right here? All right, working towards getting there, right? So those of you that have a second home, you know it's a pain in the ass. You enjoy it a lot. The first few years are amazing, but then after a few years, it's just a pain. There's a lot of things to fix, maintenance, etc. And that's what we're getting from customers. It's a pain in the ass to buy, it's a pain in the ass to own, and it's a pain in the ass to sell, right? And that's where the opportunity is. So that's where this new category called fractional ownership, or co-ownership. It's where the market is putting the tag. That's why this happens. It's, in my opinion, it's a trend that started with in real estate with the co-working many years ago, with the co-living. So people want to share the ownership to access a better asset class, right? So why having a tiny, shitty office, whatever, if I can be in a WeWork, right? And why having a smaller apartment if I can be in a co-living where I have many amenities? So the same kind of trend, also car sharing. You can think of like people want to access better things without the full ownership. And that's where the fractional ownership happens. So it's a very interesting category. Many of you might have heard about Pacaso, which is the player that started this category in the US. And this is something that is democratizing the access to something that in other categories is already happening, like aviation, like yachts, like art. So we believe it was just about time that real estate, especially luxury second homes, could get into this space of fractioning the ownership and getting more people to access it. So our vision at Vivla, obviously we are just one of the players, but we are very confident that we can become one of the key player in Southern Europe, which, by the way, it's probably the biggest market of vacation second homes in the world. So we can be one of the key players and revolutionize or change the way these 5 trillion assets are invested or purchased or used in the next few years. Very humbly, I believe this is like Airbnb 10 years ago was like some crazy idea, but now we all understand this is very normal. I believe the fractional ownership for real estate is going to be the same. Like right now, many people are challenging the idea of how will I share the ownership with other people, but more and more we're getting a lot of people understanding it, loving it, and I believe that in 3-5 years it's going to be a very normal, maybe a little bit more, but it's going to be a very normal option for many of us in the room. So the main benefit for the customer is you can buy the best home you can afford. So that means whatever your budget is, you can buy an 1/8 or 2/8 or whatever fraction you want, you can buy the best home. So with 200K of savings, you can buy a 1.6 million villa, right? So that gives you access to the best home that you could get, but then also you pay only what you need. Because if you're just going to use it 6 weeks a year, or 5 weeks a year, or 4 weeks a year, why buy in a full house? Just buy 1/8, that it gives you 6 weeks, and then you're going to use pretty much 90-80% or 100% of the time that you have. Then it's a hassle-free purchase, so based on the transaction revolution thing, we're making the transaction very easy for the users. They don't want to, especially international users, they don't want to come to Spain, research, talk to multiple agents. That's a pain in the ass. The portals are solving the research phase, but then there's the purchase phase. With us, we take care of the whole purchase process. Fully managed home, so anytime you come, it's your house, you have your things there, the house is set up. When you go, you leave it as it is, and we take care of everything, so no pain at all on maintenance. And then finally, you have like kind of what we say the best vacations ever, because you're gonna be in the best house you could ever get. It's your house with your things, with your people, a house you know, and also with the help of our concierge team. Anytime you go, you're gonna be helped by someone to make sure that your holidays are great. So the way I put it, we are 1/3 a real estate company, 1/3 a financial entity, and 1/3 like a hotel chain, because we help people buy homes, we help people finance the purchase and the resale, and we help people have a best holidays anytime they go there. So how we work, we are an independent real estate company in the sense we don't own assets, we just work with our customers to find the best assets in the market. What we do is very strong research on what are the best destinations from the destinations on homes, from the financial side, and from the usage side. So if you come to Vivla, we're going to help you find the best house, the best opportunity to invest, and the best house to enjoy in Ibiza, in Formentera, in Mallorca, in Marbella, anywhere on these destinations. So we work with many agencies just to get, or developers, to get their homes to our customers. Once we find them, we get them ready to be perfect, and then we purchase the home. We have a debt facility that allows us to buy these homes, at the moment we are interested, and then we resell the fractions to the owners as they're ready to buy. Then we help with all the financing, and I can talk more about that. We have a great agreement with one of the largest banks, private banks here in Spain, so we can finance up to 100% of the share, and then we go together hand in hand with the customers until we liquidate the asset in 10 years. So they make sure that no matter what happens, they can sell the fractions anytime, but they know for sure in 10 years these fractions are going to be sold, so they can get their money back and hopefully some gains. Going fast, we launched 6 months ago. We have over 20 destinations just focused on the supply side here in Spain. From the legal perspective, it's a very easy to understand, but complex to develop legal model that we developed with Garrigues, which is the #1 law firm in Spain, because we are selling a high-ticket real estate finance. I don't need to tell you about it. We need to build a lot of brand reputation, credibility, and that's why we're working with the best law firm in Spain, that is Garrigues. We have Anbank, which is one of the largest private banks in Spain, as our financial partner. We're working with Savills on the appraisal side. We're working with some of the best real estate partners at the different regions. So with these, the customers are understanding that we are a solid new way to buy and enjoy these homes. And they know that because we've done all the heavy lifting of understanding what are the right markets, right properties, right financial opportunity decision. That's why they come to us. Right now, we have over 25 homes in commercialization. Ours is not a massive business in terms of having hundreds or thousands of homes. It's more about getting to work very closely with our customers to find the right home. We're talking about 1 to 3 million homes. 1 to 3 million euro homes. So every transaction is a very large transaction for us. We make around 15% take rate about every transaction. So we don't care about massive volume. We care about getting to work very closely with our customers. So this is where we're going. This is about the media. The media, they're loving this new idea of how you can get a very fancy, attractive, exclusive thing with different, with a different approach. Also, customers, we're very new. We just have a bunch of customers, but so far we're getting very good reviews. They're loving, and by the way, I bought a fraction of the home we bought in Formentera. My wife is an architect and a constructor, so she made sure that the house was not a bad house, but it's an amazing experience. And with that said, just summing up, why I think this is something that you guys, whatever part of the real estate world, especially your portals, you should start thinking or considering fractional ownership. First, as I said, it's a very hot new category, probably one of the hottest PropTech categories in the space right now. It's not something we are inventing. It's like a social trend that has happened in different sectors, and now it's coming to the real estate. And customers are demanding this level of flexibility and this level of access to enjoy things in a different way. Then fractional ownership, there are many players. There are some in the US, some in Latin America, some in Europe. So it's not just me here. It's a growing industry. Pacaso was founded by Zillow founder, fastest unicorn ever. So this serious business that they're doing in the US, and it's happening. It's coming here. And talking about us, I'm sorry, I need to do this, but I'm very happy and I'm proud to say that we are the largest or the best funded startup in this category in Europe. We got, from the very beginning, some of the best global investors to support us. We have a 100 million debt facility, the partners that I already mentioned, very strong demand. Even we just started a few months ago. I won't tell you how much we're spending on marketing campaigns because it's ridiculous, but we're getting over 300 leads, very high quality, just doing a few $1,000s on LinkedIn. So because the model really is very attractive, people are getting to us, and we're in the process of closing 5 million euros in transactions just in the next few weeks. So the model is really growing and happening. And we have already started some contacts with Idealista, Rightmove, because that's the other thing that I wanted to bring here is like, we are a new model, and we will need the support of the industry to make this a reality for the consumers. That means consumers need to understand that you can buy a $2 million home for 300,000 euros. But if we don't show that price tag on the portal, they will never get it, right? So we need your support to make, whoever is interested, of course. Rightmove already is doing this in the UK. We have had conversations with the Idealista, and hopefully across Europe, because it's our main market, we will hope to make it with other players. That we believe the market needs to understand there's a new way to buy, and it's not the full price. It's like a split of the price. It's a fraction of the price. And with that, I think we are very open and happy to collaborate with you guys, share data, and find a model that works. Once we get there, we'll be big players paying a lot of money to any of the portals because we will want to sell the homes. But we need to collaborate in this first phase until we figure out what this fractional ownership category is for customers in the real estate portals. please go to vivla.com/listings, or you can find it to check all the houses that we have. They're very nice houses. They're very cheap. We're opening Baqueira today. If any of you love Baqueira, now you can buy a house in Baqueira for 89,000 euros, which is crazy. So thank you very much.
Carlos, thanks for that. Lots of questions come out of this whole concept, right?
All right.
Let's start with the most obvious ones. I buy my eighth of the house. I change my mind. I need to sell it. It's an asset, right? But is it an illiquid asset or is it a liquid asset?
Yeah. It's liquid because you can go sell it anywhere. We're building this secondary market. Of course, it's a new thing, so there are no people aware of this, but we are creating this demand. So as we sell 8 fractions of a house, we hope that in a year we'll have 80 people wanting the same kind of fraction, and we'll help any of the owners sell that fraction. So yeah, it's gonna be liquid. You can sell because this is very important. I didn't mention, you are the owner of the fraction. You are legally the owner of the stocks because we set up an LLC for every home, and you're a stakeholder, so you can sell your shares as you could sell Google shares or anything. So we are building this secondary market, and we are very confident that in a year or so we'll have like 10x whatever demand we have today.
Right. But at the moment, have you done any sales, any secondary sales?
Luckily, no, because they're loving it. We just sold our first home 3 months ago. I actually told my wife last weekend, hey, would you sell our fraction? She's like, no way. I'm loving it.
Yeah, but,
so
there's the brutal reality of the world we're living in today. Interest rates are going up. Everything's not as rosy as it was 12 months ago. So having liquidity, one is to say, yes, it is liquid, but the other is actually to have the liquidity. I know I got shares.
That's why we introduced the 10-year thing. So we believe this is a very safe investment because you're investing in a luxury real estate asset that we are targeting places with at least 50% for the last 10 years revaluation. So you're investing in something that normally should go up, and in 10 years, for sure, you have the liquidity guaranteed. And between that, we will work with them to help find other buyers.
Right. So the liquidity guarantee is that you will buy the share back in 10 years?
No, we sell the home in the market in 10 years.
The complete home gets sold in the market,
exactly.
So
everyone gets their money back at the best price the market can offer.
Okay, at that point in time. So I've got that. Now, I have my fraction, my eighth, right? How do I determine which weeks are my weeks? Because I want Christmas and Easter, right? You can have the crappiest part of the year. And how do you actually create that between 8 people? Is it the person who buys the first share gets the choice, or how does it work?
So it's a fantastic challenge that we have solved already. We pretty much split the year in 3 calendars: the high season, the mid season, and the low season. And our algorithm, which is nothing too crazy, rotates the people every year, so everyone gets to get good weeks in all the different terms. So maybe one year you're the first to choose on the high season. You have guaranteed 1 week in the high season, 2 weeks in mid season, and 3 weeks in low season. So one year you're going to be the first in the high season, third in the mid season, and it will rotate every year. But whenever you are to pick, you have the open calendar, you get the week you want, and that's yours.
Right. But wait, you get the week you want, or you get an allocated week?
No, you get to pick from an open calendar, whatever is empty or available, you get to pick it, and that's yours for the next year.
Okay, right. So I get to go first, and then next year you go first, and you have to rotate the...
Exactly.
So if I'm number 8, in 8 years' time I'll get to pick first?
No, because you are 8 maybe for one of the 3 calendars.
Okay.
So you might be first, so if you're 8th, you might be the first to get on the first year on the low season. So, it's not the high season, but you get the first to pick the 3 weeks on the low season. Right. So it's like rotating all the time. Customers so far are very happy because it's like a different way to pick weeks every year.
Yeah, I have to be organized.
Yeah, but the main thing is like you need to have flexibility. This is not for the kind of people that only have 2 weeks in August. This is not their product. Rentals are great for them. These are people that can have flexibility to work anytime, anywhere, and can enjoy weeks during the year.
Okay, how many homes have you sold so far in Spain?
1.
Okay. Now, so when you sell it, right, you create the contract, you create the shareholders agreement, which has all this mechanics in there. I assume as a shareholder, I'm responsible for an 1/8 of the maintenance. How do you solve the problem going, I'm going, that needs to be painted, and you go, that does not need to be painted.
Well,
so how do we solve those, literally
yeah.
those micro issues?
Yeah, that's where Vivla acts as the property manager.
Yep.
Agreed by the shareholder agreement, they allocate Vivla to make decisions up to some budget to make sure the home value stays at the market price every year. So we have a budget to go, so it's a Vivla decision up to some budget. If there's like a massive thing to fix, then we will put it to vote. But it will be Vivla kind of making the recommendations. And because we are gonna share the gains in 10 years, like we are all aligned to make the home not lose value.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
we don't let the people talk to each other too much because that's a mess.
I can understand that. And then related to that is how much, so I have to pay a fee every month, right? To go into a fund to do all this stuff, right? We all must contribute equally. So
Yeah.
there's a monthly fee.
Yes.
Just like my apartment here, right? I have to,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Couple of things. Does the person buying a shared ownership really own part of the property, or are they just buying shares in the company?
They own the property. I mean, they own the LLC that owns the property.
Right.
So they are real owners. This is not like timeshare. Like you are the same way you buy a house. You buy a house with, but just a fraction of the house. But you are the owner. You go to the notary. It's registered. You can sell anytime. So yeah, it's ownership.
Can I lease it out? So if I choose not to use my weeks, can I go and get my friend to come and he pays me and use the
For
property?
friends, family, of course, it's your house. You can do whatever you want. If you want to rent it, we do the rentals through Vivla just to keep things organized, not to get people, opening the door to people we don't know. But yeah.
Yep. Okay. Clearly, this is an important question for three people. What's the story behind the professional football player, who I do not know, and being an investor in Vivla?
You don't know Azpilicueta, Chelsea captain?
Sorry, no, I don't.
So actually, so what's the story? We're actually gonna have Cesar is amazing, but he's not the only one. We're gonna have a new one announced very soon. Cesar, Chelsea captain, smart football player. Surprise, surprise, he's not that stupid to buy multiple homes in different places when he's only going to have 3 weeks a year. We were introduced, he loved the model, and he's actually considering buying a house in Marbella and Ibiza, like fractions of a house, even with some of his teammates, because they're not stupid. They know they're going to retire at some point, and they believe this is a very good way to invest and enjoy without losing all their wealth. So yeah, he's with us. He was at the office the other day. And we're going to have a few more stars coming with us because they're really loving the model as investors, but also as owners.
Are they getting a discount on shares?
Yes.
Of course, it's marketing.
In exchange for PR and stuff like that.
Of course, so yeah. I get. That's why he's involved. Okay. Do you use blockchain?
No.
Okay.
Very complicated from a legal perspective. Our model is complex enough from the legal side to put blockchain. We've looked at it, but it's not the right time.
Okay. Last question. How do you think Vivla would work with portals on either the supply or the demand side?
Yeah. I believe at some point the portals will have a section that will say co-ownership, where you can just find homes that you can buy through the co-ownership model. We and all the other players, we will advertise our homes there. So you will know that if you have 200K, you can buy a full house or you can buy a fraction. If you go to the fraction or the co-ownership section in the portal, you'll have all the listings there and you'll decide.
Okay. Carlos, thank you very much.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Thank
I really
you.
like the model. Good luck
Yeah.
with selling parts of homes.
Yeah.